Pause ID, I'm known as Memotex. I'm here to present a wiki engine, and I consider more a publishing platform, which I call the Amusewiki, which has its own homepage at amusewiki.org. The code, of course, is freely available. You can get it from GitHub, but there are maybe better channel than the Git repository. My background is not actually programming, but humanities. I worked as a translator. I graduated history, and I came to programming later. This is what Amusewiki looks like. You can see that there is a navigation bar. It looks like a normal bootstrap site, but we have here the formats, and these are actually the feature of this wiki engine, because I realized there are a lot of other options than this engine, but here the focus is on texts. So each text hosted on the platform will get a PDF generated from LaTeX. So it's supposed to be a high quality PDF with proper typesetting, not just a rendering of an HTML page. Then the imposed version of the PDF. So basically, the focus is on printing, because I believe that HTML, normal HTML pages aren't really read by the user or the people visiting the site. They are just skimmed. People, or at least this works for me, I want the printed stuff to enjoy reading in a way or another. Then here we have the EPUB version. You're comfortable with the EPUB? You know what EPUB format is? Someone who doesn't? Okay. Yeah, it's the common format for ebooks. Then we have the HTML, the plain HTML version without any layout, which it was called printer-friendly HTML. The LaTeX sources, the text file sources, a zip with all the sources, including images, a Git history of the file. So basically the backend is a Git repository with text files. So here we can get a history of the text for free, basically. This is the editing button. Actually, Amusewiki can work as a wiki site, as a blog site, and as private site. So basically, the presence of this button depends on which kind of site do you have. And these are the book builder buttons, which basically, do you know the create a book feature of Wikipedia? Nobody notices that? Okay, but on Wikipedia you can create collections of or similarly to Amusewiki, but you just get a PDF in A4, I think, and you can. This Amusewiki provides similar features, in some respect superior, but okay. Why did I write Amusewiki, and why could be useful to you? I'm not really marketing the Amusewiki, because I have a project for this, and I'm not actually searching actively for users or developers. I just want to share, and If you think it's useful to you, you're welcome to try it out and use it. But I'm not actively searching for users, or it's not an application which is half-baked and is searching for content. The content already exists, and I'm happy with it. So it's built around texts because each text is basically self-contained and is a single text file. So you can produce the formats even locally on your machine without the site infrastructure. So you can just do in some of you use Emacs org mode. Do you know org mode? I guess org mode for note taking. Actually, I call it Amuse because the markup is borrowed from an old project, an old Emacs project. It was called Muse, which did the same, actually the same markup and roughly the same outputs. So you could typeset a book with that and get the PDF. I built on that, but the code is totally unrelated. It's not Lisp, it's Perl from start to finish. So basically you write the text in this markup, and I will show you. This is what it looks like. So each file has a header with, I think it's kind of self-explaining what it does. I just define the title, the author, if I want slides or no, language, date, publication date. This is an emphasis, so italics, bold. This is here we start a chapter, and this is a description list, and this is the markup for the code. If you're comfortable with Markdown, you can get used to it in 5 minutes, I guess. There is an extensive manual. So as I already mentioned, the backend is a Git repository, so you can clone the repository, work locally, then push the changes, and the site can pull, and you get the stuff published. And then it's a multi-site project. So on one instance, you can run as many sites as you want. And the localization support is pretty good. There are, I don't know, 3, 6, I think 9 languages supported, and to various extent, but it's the coverage is pretty good. It's production ready. At least I've been running it for 2 years, and I'm pretty paranoid about my projects. So architecture. So it's built from the bottom up. So the bottom layer is a parser, which is all the modules I wrote are on CPen. So we have text Amuse, which parse the markup and then produce HTML and LaTeX. There is a module to import the HTML because people usually write on Word. Normal people, not programmers, and then they want to import it in the site. So with the help of the Wiki editor, the JavaScript editor, it has an import from Word feature. So this site sees the HTML, and from HTML I can go back the Muse syntax, and from the Muse syntax back on HTML in a clearer format. Because I mean the text which can be imported are values are not really structured. It's just sometimes the HTML is buggy or it's not consistent. So with this procedure we clean up the texts. And also there is the support for converting, for example, the quotes into curly quotes, the typographical fixes which usually you you have on Word, for example, or LibreOffice or whatever. Then there is the compiler, which takes the output from the parser and produce the actual PDF and EPUB. The imposition module. So do you know what imposition is? Basically, it means putting more logical pages on a single physical page. This is used for printing process, where you usually print more pages on one sheet, and then you fold, cut, and clip, usually. This is for making booklets like this. For example, you can, for example, print A5 on A4. So you print recto verso, and then fold and clip, and you have the booklet. So imposition is this process. The module is totally decoupled from the application, so this is a general purpose module. It's on CPen. A nice addition is the crop marks. I'll show you in action in a few. Then the next layer is the database. So we have DBIc and Xepian for full text search. Do you know Xepian? Someone doesn't know? You know? Or okay. The other people don't know what Xepian is. Okay, it's a search engine. But it's in C, I think, and it has good support in Perl, and it is very fast and easily embeddable. So you don't need, for example, the whole Solar or Elasticsearch infrastructure. You can just code Perl. What? Yeah, it does stemming for a couple of, if the language is supported, of course. Yeah. The support, I think it depends on which language. The Xepian or the site, or Amusewiki. Yeah. It has a. Yeah. Stems is when, if you don't know what stemming is when you remove the suffix from the words. For example, the S in English. So when you search for singular, you can get the plural as well. And then the front end is a Catalyst application. Yes, there is a background daemon which takes care of every operation where the concurrency is a problem. For example, the PDF generation is an expensive operation. Even if you have a powerful machine, I believe that you compile, if you have something like 5 LaTeX processes going on, your machine could have problems because it's a very CPU intensive operation. So we have a daemon which just pulls from a queue, and it's kind of safe. This was existing since the very beginning. I show you briefly the additions which were made in a year basically of development. This is a one-man project, and I do this in my free time. So I show you the last year addition. We have the book builder partial selection. So basically, you have a book. You can get a PDF with, for example, just one chapter or a selected part of it, and then collect. So maybe you can have some articles with different books, and then have a PDF at the end with just the stuff you're interested in. These are the crop marks. These are produced by PDF crop marks. This is a module I wrote for this. So it's adding this stuff here, which basically marks where the paper has to be trimmed. when you print after the printing. This looks like for professional, but it's not so. I had typically you would want to have just for homemade printing. You probably want just the outer margins cut. So you have the booklet, and if you don't trim the paper, the thickness of the paper will create this stuff, and the booklet will look very bad. So if you ask the service is printing the booklet to cut the outer margin, the result will be very very better, and this will mark where the person in charge has to cut the paper. There is a LaTeX package which does the same, but having it in Perl is of course convenient. Then we have slides. So this is recursive stuff. These slides were made with Amusewiki. You can change the theme and the color of the slides. You're comfortable with Beamer, LaTeX? No, okay. Okay, it's a LaTeX package for doing slides, and this is what you get. Then OPDs. Anyone knows what OPDs is? No. Okay, no surprises. If you there are EPUB readers for Android, which supports the OPDs, which means Open Publication Distribution System. So it's basically an XML feed, an atom feed, which expose the text on your serving. So the application, you can browse the site and get text straight from the application. I don't know if the picture is clear enough, probably not. But this is a FB reader, is an EPUB reader, but it's not the only one which supports the OPDs. There are also Moonplus and Aldico, which does the same. They are basically EPUB readers. But you can get the text straight from the application without having to go to the site, download the EPUB, then load it in the app. The user can just search and just browse the titles and get the EPUB straight into the app. There is a module for this. It's on CPAN, XML OPDs, but it's actually it's a tiny layer on XML atom, because basically it's atom. And then the block mode, because yeah, what? Yeah. What? If? Yeah. But you have usually you have some pre-selected OPDs. The Gutenberg project has OPDs. For sure, Gutenberg project has it. The blog mode, because I was asked to host a blog, I said no, I don't want another WordPress or a Drupal site on me. I will make some changes to have the Amusewiki usable as blog, and this is what you can get. So you can change the appearance with some Bootstrap theme. You have a monthly archive, a tag cloud, these decorative images which don't actually belong to the text, but they are used just to advertise it, a teaser, and then you just click and go to the text as it was. This is So the appearance is like another, I don't know, Drupal site, but you get for free all the format option and the Git history and the feature I was talking at the beginning. Then SSL support with Let's Encrypt. So there is Amusewiki has a tool for generating Nginx configuration. So basically, you have just to copy and paste two commands when you add a new site to the instance, and the daemon is taking care of renewing the certificates. Code highlight with which was missing, but I added with this JavaScript library. This is affect only the web front end, so the PDF are plain. Automatic database upgrades with deployment handler. I hope everyone know deployment handler. It's a tool to manage DBIx migrations. Log4Pel and log contextual so the internal logging was improved, but this is actually an internal stuff. And more documentation on amusewiki.org. And finally, I had Debian packages. This was a big deal because Amusewiki needs external tools. It's not just a classical Perl application with a database as backend. Here we need Git, we need LaTeX, we need fonts, we need binary stuff, and so the installation was pretty complicated because you had to get all the pieces together, and nobody knows where the user or the admin puts this stuff. So after some mumbling, I decided that the Debian packaging was the way to go. It comes at some price because it's more burden for me. There are probably the Debian people are not so happy because they don't like usually private repositories. The actually two real problems are that even if you make a small change, you have to rebuild the package, upload and run the tests, which is not a bad thing in itself. But I said that Amusewiki is production ready. I can say that because there is a large test suite. It takes about 20 minutes to run because I don't want to screw it up. So the test suite is extensive. And the problem is that you can't use newer modules. You have to stick with Debian as in the repository. So, for example, there was a thing from Catalyst which I wanted to use, but actually I had to work around because the version in Debian was old. On the other hand, installation now is straightforward. You have four commands you can copy and paste from packages.amusewiki.org. Maintenance is transparent. It just looks like a normal server upgrade, so it's something probably you do all the time, just get update, get upgrade, and the stuff get upgraded. The installation is way smaller because you can install just the packages that Amusewiki needs, and not, for example, the whole TechLive suite, which is pretty large. Security, because actually the Debian people now are in charge for for example, for LaTeX or for underlying stuff, or even the Perl module. When you install in local lib, for example, I don't know, I think that most of the installation are fire and forget. You install, you get the application going, And then who is going to upgrade those modules? Probably nobody. I don't know. While with the Debian packages, at least we hope that the Debian people are in charge of the security upgrades without screwing everything up. And also the application is installed and owned by root. So hopefully there is no such a bug, but the application can't write on its own code. There are zero downtime upgrades using the socket trick, which MST was talking on IRC for a while. It's pretty cool that you can restart the application without losing any request, because the application, you can have more processes listening to the same socket. So you just start the old application and listening to the socket, then you shut down the existing one, then you upgrade, start the new one, wait for the application to come up, and then close the old. And if you don't screw up, the end user will not notice that you actually restarted the thing. Given that it's a Catalyst application, startup is slow. So this makes a difference. And yeah, and of course you have a predictable installation, so you know exactly where the stuff is. You know where the fonts reside, you know where the binaries are, and okay, I think that's it. Questions? Yeah, there are called topics, yeah, of course. Yeah, here. Topic. You can topic how to, but you can have how many topics? No, because this is more. It's just for browsing, for navigation. You have the in the EPUB you get everything else, which makes sense in a standalone file. Tagging, what do you think about tagging? Author, yeah, of course. You get something which makes sense to read with the title, the author, the end, the notes, footnotes, whatever. It's but the topics are set in the file, but doesn't make sense to have it on an EPUB, which because you are not going to have any linking from that. You will just have, I mean, you can just have it says what is it about, but you don't have any linking from that. I mean, this, but I mean, this can be added as a, but just I think I felt that it's important and it didn't make sense. Oh, okay, I will consider this as a. Okay. Okay. This is actually a good suggestion. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. The language support is set in the EPUB. Yeah.
Are there any other user roles besides admin and like normal editor, or are we?
What any?
What are the user profiles? Like I can like admin it. I'm like the admin of that thing, so I can set the color scheme, and I can be normal editor. And is there other types of users?
Yeah, there is the anonymous user if you configure the site to be open. Then you have the librarian, which can approve usually the texts. And now there is also the admin for the site, which can set, for example, the layout stuff, which can you put here, this stuff, for example, or change appearance. Yeah.
And it becomes a normal editor, or is that the library?
Normal editor is if you have a private site which is moderated, they are the one which can approve a text. So you can have an open wiki, which everyone can crash in. You can have a moderated wiki, where the librarians have the purpose to approve the texts. So they get a mail and they can check the differences and publish the stuff. And then you have the admin. And actually there is also the root user, which can access all the sites on the same instance. Yeah?
You mentioned the extensive test suite. Do you measure the test coverage with several platforms?
No, no, I didn't, but it's pretty good. Okay, okay, I'll take this in consideration. Thanks. Yeah.
How language knowledgeable is it? So capable of starting in a certain language and then only showing the books in that particular language?
Yeah, yeah. This is if you want a multi-language site, you have filtering by language. Usually, but and you can select the language you're using on the site. Starting a new language is it's not so much work. It's just the problem is with the right to left language or okay, but yeah, but there is support for multi-language is important. Yeah, and there is. Any other question? That's it. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for coming.